As far as politics go, the responses are just as varied. Mitigation is common and calls for a reduction of emissions and less reliance on fossil fuels. Coal-burning power plants are now replaced with hydraulic power plants and electrical cars are replacing some gasoline-efficient cars. Many people, however, feel that this is not enough.
Town centers should be designated as car-free zones to decrease pollution. Ring roads are needed to move traffic away from downtown areas. Pedestrianization of the city's main retail streets is an option. It is possible to change the town center into a peaceful and green area where inhabitants can go shopping and roam around in a healthy atmosphere by planting trees and flowers. Baking was invented under the Roman Empire. It was a well-known art since Roman inhabitants adored baked goods and required them on a regular basis for key occasions such as feasts and weddings. Baking was introduced as an activity and respected vocation for Romans circa 300 BC, due to the fame of the art of baking. Bakers began to make bread at home in an oven, grinding grain into flour with mills.
For critical signal processing applications such as frequency categorization, structural health monitoring, illness identification in power electronics circuits and motor fault detection, artificial neural networks have lately become the state-of-the-art technology. In light of the multiple advantages of utilizing adaptable and compact deep equivalents, such as those that can be trained with a minimal dataset of signals, without needing data transformation, this is a logical consequence.
Individuals learn and socialize better when they have a strong command of the English language. Communication with family, friends, and co-workers is built on this basis. Preventing issues in the future, such as unemployment, social isolation, and even involvement in the judicial system, may be achieved by ensuring that children have good reading and writing abilities at an early age. In order to keep track of Earth's weather and climate, a weather satellite is a special kind of spacecraft. Satellites can be geostationary or polar orbiting, with the latter circling the globe asynchronously at a fixed point on the equator.
Obedience is the glue that holds society together. As a result, it might be considered a strong tie or the foundation of social life. Without obedience, society cannot operate for one day. In an independent country, state laws are laws that express the will of the majority of the state's citizens. All inhabitants of the state have a responsibility to follow the laws passed by their representatives in the state legislature.
People who are homeless lack adequate housing. They take up residence in public spaces, such as parks and motorways, where they may be heard snoring. There are some homeless persons who solicit for money from people they meet. Food and personal things like soap and toothpaste are purchased with this money. People who are living on the streets may use the money to buy booze or drugs.
When it comes to brain development, kids who are read to aloud and those who aren't by the time they're 3 years old have a distinct advantage over those who don't. To close the achievement gap, all parents must be made aware of the value of reading aloud to their children. Minerals containing silicon and oxygen make up the majority of rocks, as they are the most prevalent elements in Earth's crust. Igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rock are the three main types. There are many different types of igneous rocks that may be found in the Earth's crust. Particles settle out of water or air and form sedimentary rocks. When heat or pressure is applied to an existing rock, it is transformed into metamorphic rock. Goals for sustainable development were agreed upon by member states at the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, in June 2012. This text, titled Transforming Our World, was agreed upon by the member states after intergovernmental talks.
Near our own solar system, astronomers have found a massive cloud of gas in which several new stars are forming. According to a press release from the University of California, the discovery of this phenomena was made possible by recent advances in estimating the distance of gas clouds, which allowed researchers to more correctly interpret older findings.
Many commodities and services are affected when there is an increase in the population of a certain area or country. A shift in the population's demographics will lead to a rise in demand for some commodities, but a decrease in demand for others.
Judges may also be influenced by their moods when it comes to how they absorb information, since moods can influence how much they depend on pre-existing knowledge or new information. More holistic and top-down processing is promoted by positive moods, whereas bottom-up processing is promoted by negative emotions.
A mineral has never been found in nature before in a diamond that was produced deep in the Earth's mantle. The finding provides a rare peek into the Earth's deep mantle, which might provide light on the planet's structure at depths of more than 660 kilometers. Geologists may use this to better understand how the mantle influences the Earth's plate tectonics.
As a political term, welfare has a unique connotation in the United States since it refers to the method by which the poor are given financial help. Most European countries feel that all residents should be able to access some level of social assistance and well-being, which is why welfare services are seen as an absolute right in such countries.
The thick calcified skin of starfish protects them from most predators, and the bright colors of many of them hide them or scare off would-be attackers. Freshwater ocean stars do not exist, and the few that do only exist in salt water. In addition to their unique form, ocean stars are known for their ability to regrow lost limbs and even their entire bodies.
There is an increased interest in outdoor activities in our national parks and forests due to the COVID-19 outbreak. According to the findings of a recent study, people should be aware of the potential impact their actions may have on wildlife in protected areas. To avoid locations previously frequented by recreational users, every type of animals avoided the area at all costs. Hikers and horseback riders were the main targets of their attention, whereas mountain bikers and other motorized vehicles were mostly shunned.
Consolidation and farewell activities allow members to reflect on their time together and to settle any unfinished business before the group experience ends. It is common for these exercises to include some sort of reflection on what was learned or accomplished during the previous time together, as well as the sharing of those ideas or insights with the rest of the group.
More than 200 years of colonial tradition may be traced back to the institution. Many of the people who have worked here, like Albert Einstein, are scientists themselves. His discoveries made it easier to turn on the lights, prepare supper, and play video games on our consoles because he made it easier to create and use electricity.